Hello and welcome to Math 8, Unit 2A, Lesson 4. Today's objective is that scholars will be able to find the y-intercept of a function presented in any format. We've talked about the different formats that functions can be presented in, and now we're going to find the y-intercept no matter what the format is. Okay, so first of all, what is a y-intercept? Well, y-intercept actually has three different definitions, and it depends what you're looking at, which one is the better definition for you. So the first one is, the y-intercept is the value of y, or the output, when x, or the input, equals 0. So it's just the value of y when x is 0. Secondly, it is also the place where the graph, or the line of the function, crosses the y, or the vertical, that just went right through, the vertical axis. Or finally, it's also known as the starting point of the function. So those three definitions are how we find the y-intercept, and all of those are always true. So let's start first. How can I find the y-intercept of an equation? So we know that most equations are written, for functions are written in this format, which is called slope-intercept. This is our slope, or our rate of change, is m. This right here, b, is I always say it's the beginning. It is our y-intercept. So that's the y-intercept. It's whatever's being added or subtracted. Notice that this is adding. So if we have a negative, like here we have -5. We have -5, so our y-intercept is -5. Here, our y-intercept is 2. Here, you notice there's nothing being added. Well, if nothing's being added, then our y-intercept is simply 0. Finally, here, it is -15. Now, if I had an equation written like this, y equals 5 plus 2x, the y-intercept would be 5. Even though it's in the wrong order, it's the one that's not being multiplied with my x. Okay, so then how do I find the y-intercept of a table? Well, the y-intercept of a table is pretty easy. We are going to go down our x values and find the x value of 0. So here's my x value of 0. The corresponding y value is -3. That means that the y-intercept is -3. Do the same thing on the next one. I find when x is 0, y is 0. That means my y-intercept is 0. Here I see that when x is 0, y is 1. That means my y-intercept is 1. And finally, see this last one, that when x is 0, my input, my time is 0. My distance, or my y value, is 650. Therefore, here my y-intercept is 650. Wherever my input is 0, that's where my output gives me the y-intercept. Okay, so next one, how do I find it on a graph? Well, again, here, I'm literally going to look for where I touch the y-axis. In this first one, I touch the y-axis at 1. You notice that my x value is 0, my y value is 1. The y-intercept is 1. Here, I can see that my y-intercept is 9. Here, my y-intercept is -2. Here, my y-intercept is -1. If I'm below the x-axis, then it's going to be a negative number. If I'm above the x-axis, it's a positive number. Okay, so finally, how do I find it from a verbal description? Remember, verbal descriptions are just writing. It's words. So in this case, I'm looking for the starting point of the function. So let's talk about that. I have $50 in my bank account and deposit $10 each week. My starting point is there. So my y-intercept is 50. Same thing on the next one. A plumber charges $50 to come out and then $75 per hour. My y-intercept is this amount right here, the amount he charged to come out. So that again is 50. I owe $400 to my sister. I pay her Each week I pay her $25. My y-intercept, my starting point is 400. And then finally, I begin to fill up my fish tank. The faucet adds 2 gallons per minute. I don't say that there's anything in my fish tank to begin with. So in this case, I would guess that my fish tank was empty, which would give me a y-intercept of 0. So that's it. Finding the y-intercept is simple as finding your starting point, finding the value of y when x is 0, or looking at where the graph crosses the y-axis. Okay, if you have any questions, come see me in class.